This is Shenzhen, 4 decades ago, a remote fishing village. And this is Shenzhen today, a metropolis with a permanent population of 20 million, yielding 340 USD billion of GDP in 2017 alone. What makes China's time so magical?
As the saying goes, to capture the changes of China in the last 20 years, go to Shenzhen. To have a taste of China over the last 100 years, visit Shanghai. To have a glimpse of China in the last 500 years, you'd visit Beijing. To see how China develops in the last 2,000 years, you'd visit Xi'an. More than 2 millennia ago, Eurasians explored and opened up several routes of trade and cultural exchanges that linked Asia, Europe, and Africa, collectively called the Silk Road by later generations. In 2013, Chinese President Xi Jinping proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, which is an abbreviation for the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. The Belt, Silk Road Economic Belt. Asia-Pacific region European economies. The Silk Road Economic Belt focus on bringing together China, Central Asia, Russia, and Europe, the Baltic, linking China with the Persian Gulf and the Mediterranean Sea through Central Asia and the West Asia, and connecting the China with Southeast Asia, South Asia, and the Indian Ocean. More than 2 millennia ago, during the Han Dynasty, China's envoy Zhang Qian twice visited Central Asia. The Silk Road first emerged, and it became a bridge between East and West. Xi'an is the most critical transfer hub in China on the belt, which is why it is said that to see how China develops in the last 2,000 years, you'd visit Xi'an. The road, 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. The 21st Century Maritime Silk Road is designed to go from the coast of China to Europe, through the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean on one route, and from China's coast through the South China Sea to the South Pacific on the other. Maritime Silk Road has always played an important role in economic and cultural exchanges and integration between East and West. China and ASEAN countries are building a 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. The road envisions a network of interconnected markets linking the ASEAN, South Asia, West Asia, North Africa, and Europe, and a strategic partnership for the South China Sea and the Pacific and Indian Oceans. The 5 pathways simply show the planning of the Belt and Road project. By July 2019, the Chinese government had signed 195 intergovernmental cooperation agreements with 136 countries and 30 international organizations, collaborating with countries in Asia, Europe, Africa, Latin America, and the South Pacific region. Belt and Road focuses on 5 main areas of cooperation. First, coordinating development policies. Second, forging infrastructure and facilities networks. Third, strengthening investment and trade relationship. Fourth, enhancing financial cooperation. Fifth, deepening social and cultural exchanges. Under the COVID-19 pandemic, the Belt and Road Initiative is making a difference around the world. For example, China-Europe cargo trains have shipped 448,000 pieces of pandemic prevention supplies, totaling 1,440 tons to Italy, Germany, Spain, Czech Republic, Poland, Hungary, the Netherlands, Lithuania, and other countries. Italy became the first member of the group of 7 G7 countries to join China's Belt and Road Investment Project, which has raised some concerns among Italy's Western allies. Officials of the 2 countries have signed a series of agreements in the fields of energy, finance, and agricultural products. Italian companies in natural gas, power, engineering, and other areas signed relevant agreements. They are permitted to enter the Chinese market. Italian investor Fabrizio Goldoni is here to share his ideas.
My name is Fabrizio. I am Italian. I arrived in Hong Kong in 1993. I was 33 years old, so you can imagine how old I am now. I was working at that time in the United States, in New York, because my work was pretty much related to traveling. And then I got an offer to go to Asia, to Hong Kong. I never been to Asia, so I said, okay.
Fabrizio is an Italian who always keeps curiosity and follows his heart. In 1993, 33-year-old Fabrizio accepted a work offer and moved to Hong Kong. For years, he has always been attracted by the beautiful scenery of Hong Kong and the positive attitude of its people. He has visited many cities in China and personally experienced how Shenzhen has developed from a small fishing village into a metropolitan city. So far, he has worked and lived in both cities for 27 years. For him, China has become his home away from home. As an Italian investor, he has been doing business with China for years. And as a witness of China's development, Fabrizio strives to convey the true message of China to the world, especially on the Belt and Road Initiative.
The Belt and Road project, we can call also the new Silk Road, it touches many countries, you know, and the countries in Central Asia is divided into 6 corridors, and also there is a maritime route. Actually is a win-win project because is not just a building of infrastructure, but is a building of an economy that before it doesn't exist. So, you know, is a long-term project. So something that happens like, say, virus, it doesn't affect at all. It's a win-win because the people, they work together to make, to give more value in terms of GDP, in terms of the value of the infrastructure, and it's not just a bridge or a highway or a train.
The 6 economic corridors are New Erosion Land Bridge, China-Mongolia-Russia Economic Corridor, China-Central Asia-West Asia Economic Corridor, China-Indochina Peninsular Economic Corridor, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, Bangladesh-China-India Myanmar Economic Corridor. The 6 infrastructure connectivity networks, which are highways, railways, shipping, aviation, pipelines, and integrated space information networks. However, there are many misunderstandings on the Belt and Road Initiative. The Belt and Road Initiative is a debt trap. Quoting John R. Bolton, the U.S. National Security Advisor, China is making strategic use of debt to hold states in Africa, captive to Beijing's wishes and demands.
It's not a trap. It's not a trap. There is one point to understand, that today China is the creditor _1 for the emerging market. Okay, so if you see from an economic point of view, you see that China as creditor is creditor _1. Then we have the World Bank that is much lower, and then you have IMF that is very low in terms of borrowing money. But this is not a trap. This is our project, you know. So the people receive the emerging country, let's say, I make Uzbekistan, for example, no? Receive an investment not just to build a road, a bridge, but to develop. So there is no, it's not a problem of getting the money from the interest of the loan.
In general, it's perfectly justified to pay a debt. If the accusation is true, it seems that all countries that are in debt with Chinese government are under China's control. On the contrary, and as a matter of fact, the US debt exceeds $20 trillion, but its creditors have failed to collect any debts. What is more, neither Greece nor the EU has any solutions to Greece's debt crisis.
I'll make a practical example. Let's talk about Hong Kong. Think about the MTR. Which is the value of the MTR? The MTR, it moves the people, but the MTR, when arrive to a new district, the real estate, for example, take a big important value. It create the real estate, they go up. The people, they can travel. The people, they can take a new job. The shop, they can sell more because you have a customer that is coming from area that before was not accessible. So imagine this is the real value of the project. So it's not a trap.
The Belt and Road Initiative is a sustainable project that is jointly built through negotiation to meet interests of participating countries, and it's a fair game. However, it's not a charity project, so both parties have to bear corresponding risks and go through a bargaining process. A country is never rich by grants and aids. It can only develop by upgrading its industrial capability and trade.
Because, the trap is when you give some people some money to build something that they don't need, okay? For example, there may be some project of IMF is like that. So you built a cathedral in the desert, a beautiful cathedral, but you don't need it. But if you build something that the country need, this is a real value, is stimulated the economy, it's not a trap,
China's $60 billion aid fund to Africa covers 10 major projects, including agriculture, industry, infrastructure, finance, green energy, investment, poverty alleviation, public health, humanities, and security. About 15 African countries cooperated with China. Force 2. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's Marshall Plan, signaling the dawn of a new era of rivalry.
To my knowledge, the point is quite simple. The tender are open to many companies. The point is the requirement. Can you deliver this project? Can you really make this project? I have seen with my eyes, some of the projects in the Karakorum Highway, in Xinjiang. You need the technology, you need the skillful people, you need the engineering. Often the Chinese company, they give you all together. They give you, and not too many companies can provide this full service. Very, very high standard to a cheap price, a reasonable price. This is the point.
As a Chinese proverb goes, teamwork makes dream work. The Belt and Road Initiative emphasizes the value of building a community of shared future of mankind. After World War II, European countries were in ruins. The US launched the Marshall Plan, also known as the European Recovery Program, in 1948, provided $30 billion in financial aid over 4 years. Through the plan, the US exported its values, maintained its capitalist ideology, and united with 16 Western European countries to counter the expansion of Soviet and the communist forces in Europe, and form the military alliance, NATO. Consultation, contribution, and shared benefits are the golden principles of the Belt and Road Initiative. This initiative is pledging to build closer economic relations between countries, create more opportunities for world economic growth, and achieve joint development by tapping the comparative strengths of all participating countries. The Belt and Road Initiative advocates open and inclusive cooperations. No country is forced to become a part of it. Yet, no country is included or targeted. There is no dominating party in this initiative. It's not a zero-sum game, and it's nothing like the Marshall Plan.
We talk about the young generation, the young people. In my opinion, is a big opportunity for them, but they have to put an effort, because they have to study the project, they have to go there, they have to go in China, they have to try to live there, and as I lived 20 years in China maybe. In terms of future and in terms of suggestions, I am very, very, very positive, extremely positive, okay? Because we do have a project, the Great Bay Area, that is the future of this city and the South. Imagine that they have a GDP of 1.7 trillion. 1.7 trillion, Italy, for example, is 2 trillion GDP. Is 70 million people. I mean, it creates an area of a potential growth that it will beat Japan, Tokyo Bay Area, and it will beat New York and San Francisco in important fields, the fields of the future, artificial intelligence, telecommunication, advanced robotics. So this is the future where to look and to study.